Welcome back everybody to Fun Factor RC. My name is Wes and today we're going to do a little bit of tech screwdriver turning. I have here some MIP XDuty CVD axles. These are for the rear of the Traxxas Slash 4x4. Old Faithful here. And first off, you have to remove your existing drive shafts. So here there is a threaded pin, and here is a screw. Let's undo this screw so that the tire will flop out, allowing us to pull the axle out of it. And then, well, we also have to take the tire off first. But to get the axle out of there, we're going to have to take this screw out right here after we take the tire off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snatch this tire off. I'm going to undo this screw. I'm going to undo this screw. And I will show you what this screw looks like when I get it out. Now what this is a pin, and I'm probably not going to be able to focus on it. This is a pin that has threads on it that goes in the hole in the drive shaft. I apologize for the poor focus. Alright, now that's all we got to do to take apart the original setup. Now let's see what we have to do to get these built, because I know there is small pieces in there with some grub screws, and I see some grease, so that looks like it's going to take some know-how and some instruction reading. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. This looks like the part that is going to go here, and then we will have this here and the axle and the wheel here. We're going to have to build these 4 ways that go in there and here. All right, I have one put together, and I am going to show you how I come up at this point here. On the axle side, there is thread lube, there's Loctite for your threads, and there's grease for the mechanicals. So you take one of these small grub screws, and then I like to stick it on my screwdriver, and that gives me something to hold it with. And I'm going to dab it in some of this grease, this dark blue thread gel, or whatever they're calling it. these little barrels, one side of the barrel will be threaded, the other side is not threaded. I go ahead and get my wrong screwdriver. I go ahead and get my grub screw started so that it won't fall out. And then what you have to do is you put your grub screw inside the hole. See the hole? And put the grub screw inside the hole. Now I have been sticking this blue grease lube all over it and some in there and lubing it up real good and making sure it's all over the place. Try to keep track of the hole that is inside your center pin. What you're going to have to do is take your shaft. I may be doing the wrong side. No, that's the right side. The serrated end will be your axle shaft side, and you stick it in there already. The hole in this piece will line up with the hole in there. So you kind of just, well, I'm going to put some grease in it real quick. Alright, I've put some grease in it. I'm all about putting some grease in stuff. Then you take one of these pins that they have, and these pins have a flat side ground in it, and you put the bell end over the joint and then put your pin in. And when you do this, you're going to have to line up the holes, and then the side that your grub screw is in, you want that to be the flat side up. My grub screw is up, my flat side is up. I push the pin all the way in, and then I lock down the grub screw to set it and lock it in place. Set it and forget it. Now you have a lubed up half of a drive shaft. Repeat the process for the other side and you'll be done building them. Then we will get into installing them back into the Slash. So I'm going to pause the video. I know you don't want to be bored with me building this stuff, and I'm going to build this thing. And we'll be right back to install it. All right. Let's see about installing these. We're going to take the longer grub screws with the nipple on them, and we're going to give them some of this blue thread gel while I slap the camera around. I'm going to go ahead and get it started in the end that goes to the transmission. And I'm going to get my other grub screw and do the same. Get a little bit of this thread gel. I guess, you know, it's their stuff. I'm going to use their stuff over my stuff. I'm going to get the other one started just like this. Alright, now we're going to put it on this truck here. I spin my tire to line up my holes. That way I know which way this is facing. And then I'm going to start tightening up these screws until it finds that hole in there. Then I'm going to spin the tire to the other side and I'm going to tighten it. So far, everyone, I feel like this is a very quality kit. Everything is that dark looking steel so that I know it's not just plain old raw steel. Seems very quality. I'm going to take this drive shaft. Now they provide a spacer that goes in between these two bearings, and I'm going to put that in. We're going to go from, we'll go ahead and, I don't know if I'm supposed to lube that or not, so we're going to put some lube on it anyways. Alright, I'm going to feed this through the bearing hole I am going to use their bearing spacer, which is the thicker. They give you 4 little washers, little spacers. This is the thicker of the two. I'm going to add that in there. I'm going to stick my bearing back on like I'm supposed to. So now we have done it just like they want it. They also recommend that in front we use their thin spacer, and I usually lose these. I mean, every car is supposed to have them. I tend to lose things. All right, that is it. Now it comes with its own metal hubs, and the metal hub has a flats. Oh, it's got a front and a back. I see this. So this is going to be the back where the grooves are. Nope. The grooves, the recessed side is actually going to be out front towards the wheel. The grooved side is going to be in towards the axle shaft. So we will align that up. Well, that makes sense. Oh, I need to stop. Their small bearing spacer, this thing here, they actually want the small one to go in the back. Let's do that. Let's put that back there on the back side like it's supposed to be. And simply reinstall. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I know nobody wants to watch me turn screws. But if you were interested in installing these and installing these the correct way, I am going to attempt to do it the correct way. We'll put their hub back on there. Spin it so that I can see where the set screw goes. I'm going to take said set screw and it's going to be the other size screwdriver. Let's give it some of this cool little blue thread gel that I just stuck my finger in. And we will lock it down on here. Now, I will say that every time a screw hits bottom, it stops. There's no questioning if the screw's all the way in or not. And I like this kit. So far, it seems to be a very quality kit. Now, that seems to be there. Let's take a look at that. All right, I'm going to see about slapping this wheel back on here after I put this screw back in. All right, so we got that screw in there. Let's continue to put this tire back on. That's nice. I see threads in here. That is nice. Now, they give us their own lock nuts to go in there, but I have these really nice aluminum lock nuts that are Traxxas, and I really like these. These, I don't know if you can see them, these blue lock nuts, they're Traxxas. They're flanged out real hard, and they have a lot of serrades on the back. There you go. They have a lot of serrades on the back, and these things really lock on. I am very impressed with these. They're very expensive, but they're kind of worth it. Now, every now and then, you want to spend a little bit of money to get the right equipment. All right, that's going to do it. I now have... I'm going to get up in here and check for clearance. I don't see any. It's not grinding. It's not touching anything. Nothing's impeding its movement. Looks like I have a shock bent up, maybe. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. The MIP XDuty drive shaft install. Fun Factor RC. Thank you very much for subscribing and following my builds. We will get this out and thrash it around. Thank you so much.